Hey, hello there. I need two of my places connected. Do you know how a LAN works, local area network, right? So usually you have one kind of router firewall thingy in your home. If you got it from your internet service provider, it is usually an integrated device. I think they call it IAD, like integrated access device. These guys usually have the firewall functionality in itself, the routing functionality, the Wi-Fi access point functionality, the switch functionality, and often the modem functionality as well. So, like an integrated device. And usually behind this device, you have a couple of home devices, whether it's like one laptop, one phone, or maybe one computer, one TV, whatever you have in your network. If you are a little bit advanced user, a home tinkerer, if you will, like myself, then you may have some servers at home that do something and you need to access them from your laptop. Maybe you just have a network storage device where you store your photos, and you must be able to reach this network storage device from your phone and from your laptop. In some cases, you may have two houses. Maybe you're not living in both of them. Maybe your sister is living in a different house, right? And she also needs access to your home server so she can store her own photos as well. Usually, if you buy a proprietary network storage device such as Synology or QNAP or something like that, they come with a whole bunch of services that are, well, cloud services, right? So you put a little bit of trust into this company to safeguard your communications, to safeguard the transit of your data and stuff like that. Your photos still will sit in your home on your own hard drive, but you do rely a little bit on their cloud services, so the whole thing would function as advertised, right? If you want to avoid things like that, then you might not want to use anyone's cloud services, but rather you will just tell your I have, of course, imagined this scenario, but it seems to be relatively clean in my head. So your sister lives in a different house, you live in this house, and the network storage device is in your house. She wants to upload her photos for safekeeping to your mirrored hard drives in your home, and she needs to have LAN, local area network access, to the device that you have in your home. But she doesn't live in your home, so she is not physically connected to your LAN. She has her own LAN at her own home. So the easiest way to mitigate this is to create a VPN connection, a site-to-site VPN connection between the two of your routers. So you have already installed OPNsense firewall at both of your sites, and now you wish to connect them together so that each one of these two LANs talk to each other as they are completely local networks. Let's get into it. Okay, so just to rephrase this, this is house 1, this is house 2, right? And in the house 1, you have a router. This is your OPNsense firewall. This is another one just like it. This is the internet, and both of your houses are basically connected to the internet via your own firewall. Okay, and in your house you have this network storage device here. Let me see if I can change the color quickly. I don't actually know how to change color in this program. I don't use it too often. Let's leave it as it is for now. And so in the other house, let's say that she has a phone and she has a laptop. It should be a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is a laptop, this is a phone, and that's not supposed to multiply. Let's delete a couple of those. Okay, just a phone and a laptop. And of course, this phone will want to reach the other site by going to the default route, which is her router, her OPNsense. And of course, the OPNsense is then connected via VPN over the internet to the other site, and then she can reach the final destination. So basically what is happening, both of these huge cubes, which are squares, are they? These squares are interconnected together. So let's just get rid of this for a second. And if you want to switch to reading quickly, you can go to docs.opensense.org and you will find all the required documentation over there. They have examples with imaginary subnets. You can just substitute those for the ones that you use at home. In my case, I have already configured everything. I would very much love to show it to you step by step how this is being done, but the best thing I can do right now is to show you how it is already configured so I can edit my field and show you what I have typed. Because if I break my VPN connection, then I will no longer be able to reach my site B anymore. The only connection that I have to site B is this particular VPN connection, so that's all I can do at this point, because I have configured my site B that it is completely unreachable by any means other than the VPN connection, right? Okay, so you will go to Wireguard instances. You are going to press the add button, the plus one, and when you add it, you will get some of the empty fields, right? So let me go ahead and open up my already configured site-to-site tunnel. So right out of the gate, I will tell you, as I usually do, I don't want to mask anything in my video. It's just too tiresome to mask everything, just because there is some secret key here. So after I finish recording this video, I'm just going to change my keys and be done with it, right? Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that this instance for the WireGuard that you're creating on the site A, all right, this is site A here, this is site B. Make it enabled, give it a proper name. I called it site firewall 1. You can press this cog button to generate a new key pair. The private one will not be relevant for the remainder of the configuration, but the public one, you want to write it down to your text editor as public key of the site A, site 1, right? Listen port, you can choose any port you prefer, but also write it down because you will need to use it in the entirety of this video. It will be the same port throughout the all of this video. The tunnel address. Okay, so this is going to be the IP address of your first OPNsense firewall, and your second OPNsense firewall will have its own IP address, and you want to make sure that they are in the same subnet. So at the very least, you're going to have to use the /30 network subnet. It cannot be /32, of course, that's just one host. So you need to be able to connect these two with at least the /30 subnet, which holds the network address, the broadcast address, and the two host addresses in between. You can go ahead and make it wider, as I did, because that will allow you to make your future network larger than just two hosts, than just two firewalls, right? So you will be able to connect more of them to the same subnet. So I wasn't sure if I am ever going to do a third one, so I just went ahead and made it 250 plus addresses. So it is what it is. On the peers, you are not going to have anything to choose from here because you haven't created any peers at this moment. Okay, so you must have a way to reach your second site. Whether on the second site, the person who is there will give you some kind of a remote access, I don't know, Rust desk or something like that to their laptop, so you can reach the internal configuration. From the other side, that's up to you how you're going to reach the OPNsense firewall on the other side before you make the VPN tunnel. Go to VPN Wireguard. If you don't have the Wireguard option, that probably means you have an older version of OPNsense. In that case, just go to System and install the Wireguard package. It's just a couple of clicks, and if you already have the latest OPNsense Community Edition, it should be pre-installed in every installation. So just go to Instances and create a new one and do the exact same thing as you did on the firewall one. There will be a lot of mirroring happening on both of these sites because you're going to make everything the same on both sides. So just type the exact same name, but change it just a little bit so that you know that this is site 2. Generate a new key pair for the new site, for site B, or the site firewall 2, and copy paste your public key of the site 2 to your text editor and mark it there as a public key of the site B. This is important. Use the exact same port and put an IP address here from the exact same subnet that you have used in the previous step on the first firewall. But this subnet must not be your LAN subnet. It must be an invented new subnet. This will be only for your WireGuard network, nothing else. Okay, peers, you don't have anything just yet. So stay on this site 2 for now, and let's go ahead and create our first peer. Okay, so here you can type the name of your first site. So the instance is like a listener of your firewall, right? This one is the device, the networking. I wanted to say a device, but what I meant interface, right? That listens to incoming connections. The peer is the remote connection to which you are connecting. Let me just give you an easier example. If you're making a Road Warrior setup, Road Warrior is when you have something that roams around the internet and connects to the home base, which is on a fixed place, usually a fixed IP address or a dynamic DNS. In this case, a Road Warrior is the one that's roaming around, right? And that one is the one who is connecting. So that one is being kind of thought of as a peer, but only from the base site perspective, because when you do a WireGuard connection, you usually have 2 instances and 2 peers on the other side. So it's kind of like you're making a site-to-site tunnel, always with your Road Warriors, right? And this configuration here is actually not that different from making a configuration just for a laptop, simply because one of my sites, which is in this case site A or the firewall 1, that one is actually on a dynamic IP address. And the other one, which we are at right now, the site B, that one is on a fixed IP address. So this is important to round up the explanation that I just started. So go ahead and type the public key of the other side. You have it written in your text editor. And scroll down just a little bit. So in allowed IP addresses, here is where you are going to type the IP address of the other peer, not this one, and of the other host. When you type the address, just type /32, which is a host subnet, and just press enter to be given a chance to type a second subnet that is being allowed. So if you have just one LAN subnet on the site A, then just type this subnet here as a second allowed IP, but not an IP address, but rather an IP subnet. So in my case, it is 192.168.99.0 and then /24. This is my subnet at home. And I have a couple of them actually, but these two, let's just pretend that they are not here. I have 3 subnets in my home, and they all serve a different purpose. In your case, there may be just one of them. If you also have multiple of them, well, just type them all. So they are all being allowed. Endpoint port is going to stay the same throughout the entire video. Okay, so instance. This is where you're going to pick the instance that you have already configured previously. So go ahead and save it. Oh yes, one thing I forgot to tell you is that every time you press save, there will also be a button labeled apply. I am not sure if it was in lower left corner or top right, but there will always be an apply button which you must press in order to apply your changes. You can do that without fear on each step so that everything gets applied immediately. So right now, go ahead and go back to the instance creation and edit this instance and go ahead to peers, and now you can choose your peer here because you have now created it. Go ahead and save and apply, and then go back to the site A and do here a new peer, right? I already started configuring connections to my laptops, but these are grayed out because I have disabled them. I haven't finished configuring them just yet. But my site 2 is being configured here already, right? So the public key is the other one from the site B that you have held in your text editor. Type in the IP address of the Wireguard interface of the site B, and type the network of the LAN subnet that is being held behind your site B firewall here. Okay. So the thing that you have noticed on the previous step where we have been configuring a peer on the site B. I'm not going to go to site B just now, not to confuse you. So when you're configuring a peer, you must tell not just what are the allowed IPs of the peer, and not just the public key of the peer, but also what is the IP address of the peer. If you don't type the IP address of the peer, then all of the IP addresses are going to be allowed. So in my case, I wanted to tell my site A to always search for the site B on this particular IP address here. Okay, and the port is this one, and the instance is the one that we have already configured in the very first step. So go ahead and save this and apply, and go back to instances and edit your existing instance. Go to peers here and just choose the peer that it has newly appeared here, and save it and then apply it. We are now finished with configuring the WireGuard. Okay. At this point, your WireGuard tunnel actually should be operational, but no traffic will be allowed just yet. I have now switched to my site B OPNsense, and I'm going to peers configuration here, and I'm just gonna edit this once again just to show you that the endpoint address is not being filled in, simply because the IP address of my site A sometimes changes. It's not a very dynamic IP address, as in the sense how I used to have it years ago, when my provider would reset my IP address every day. So in this case, I get to hold it for a while. I have no idea when they change it, but they do change it occasionally. So it is what it is. I just didn't type it here. In theory, you can type in a dynamic DNS name here, but this is going to create a little bit of a challenge for you, because the DNS resolving only happens on OPNsense when you enable the Wireguard tunnel, and it only happens once. And what happens is, when you enable the Wireguard tunnel, it will auto-resolve the other IP. The connection is going to be established, and what the OPNsense is going to do, it is going to remember the IP address. It is not going to actually use the fully qualified domain name that you type in here. It is just going to use it as a dynamic, how do I put it? It is just going to resolve it once. Basically, that's it. There is a way to mitigate this, program or configured OPNsense to refresh the IP address of the dynamically assigned endpoint address. But this is beyond the scope of this video, and I would actually prefer, if OPNsense is watching this video, to maybe think about allowing us to put a FQDN here, and to respect the time to live mechanism of the DNS entry, so that it simply refreshes occasionally on its own. It would be a little bit easier for, well, everyone to make site-to-site channels. Let's go ahead and cancel this, because we haven't actually changed anything. Go back to the site A, go to the firewall configuration. So here we have some rules. Go ahead and click. You're going to change something in the LAN port, in the WAN port, and in the Wireguard group. So let's go ahead and visit all three of these. So the LAN port here is basically my internal port of the OPNsense firewall, which has my entire LAN network hooked up. You can ignore this one. This is a second port that is currently not being used, so this one is important. On the LAN port, go ahead and add a new firewall rule. Go ahead and edit. I'm just gonna edit my rule. So by default, almost everything is going to be filled up the way it is supposed to be filled up. So action is going to be pass, the traffic right interface, LAN direction in, TCP version, IPv4 protocol any, source. Okay, so where from are we allowing the traffic into our local network of the site A? So this is where you're going to type the subnet, which is on your site B, behind the firewall of the site B, right? So from my initial example, this would be a LAN network of your, sister's house. So this is what goes in here. Destination, just go ahead and find your LAN port and check it here. I have also checked my other interface, which is called SOBA. This is my second LAN port. I have two LAN ports almost in use, but as I said, this one is not configured full yet, so you can ignore this one in this video. Destination port range, any if you don't have any reason to block some of the ports, right? If you want to block ports, for example, if this scenario is the only thing that you want to allow your sister to access, usually this would mean that you only need to access certain ports, certain IPs, and stuff like that. So you can play with your firewall rules, but this is out of the scope of this video. I'm going to make a separate one just for a little bit more advanced firewalling. So right now we just want to allow these two subnets to communicate. Let's go step by step in learning how to work with OPNsense, right? You can scroll down, description, put whatever you like here. What I did here is I have placed a descriptive field that well reminds me what this rule is all about. Okay, you can do some scheduling so that this rules comes and goes and stuff like that, but basically you can just skip the rest of this, press save, and press apply once again, and we are done. So go ahead to site B, go to the firewall options, go to NAT, sorry, not NAT, I meant rules, go to your LAN port here, and here you're going to create a new rule, which is exactly the same as the one we just did on the site A. You're just going to change the IP addresses. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit the existing rule. So pass interface LAN in IPv4 any source. Okay, so the source from which we are allowing traffic into our second site LAN networking is basically the LAN network from the site A. So that's what you're going to write here, and the destination is the your LAN subnet on your site B, right? So we are on site B. We are allowing incoming traffic. The descriptive field goes here. Save it. Okay, apply it, and then go back to site 1. Okay, so now let's go to the WAN port. So the outside WAN port, you must have you must allow the traffic for the UDP traffic for the Wireguard tunnel. So create a new rule here. You're going to pass the traffic which comes to your outside interface. Direction is incoming. IPv4 protocol UDP source. Okay, so we are on the site A, so we are allowing the Wireguard traffic. So basically what we configured now, it's not Wireguard traffic, but it's actually all UDP IPv4 traffic so far that is coming from this host, because this host has a dynamic IP address. If you have a dynamic IP on the other side, then just, well, skip the field here and go with any here. Any, right? Okay. Destination is the WAN address of your router. You can go with a single host and type your WAN address here, but if your WAN address is dynamic, then just choose WAN address here and let OPNsense worry about what the current WAN IP address is. And the destination to which the traffic is coming is only this port. So we are not allowing any other incoming port other than this one, and the UDP traffic, and this source address to contact us, and it must be IPv4 traffic. So it's pretty strict, right? And even if you don't put the IP address of the the source who is connecting to you, who is trying to establish the Wireguard tunnel, you still have your Wireguard secrets that guard you from any kind of brute force attacks. Because, well, the way Wireguard function is, it is not going to reply to anyone other than the other side who comes in saying, hello, I am Wireguard peer who is coming with this public key, right? Please answer my door. So that's how it works. Put a reasonable description here, and basically we can skip this, save it, and then apply it. Let's go to site B and basically do exactly the same. Add a new firewall rule, right? Do everything the same as on site A. WAN address, incoming traffic, IPv4, UDP protocol, source is now any. And the reason why it's any, because my site A keeps changing the IP address occasionally, and I just don't want to do anything about it right now. One of the things I could do is pay my internet service provider to keep my IP address fixed, but that costs 3 times more than my entire internet connection, so that doesn't make any sense. So the rest of it you can just copy paste from the site A. Go down, press the save button, and then apply it. Let's go back to site A and go to the Wireguard group. Add a new firewall rule here, which is going to look a little bit like this. So pass the traffic, apply the action immediately on match. I believe this is checked by default, but you can verify that. Interface. So in this case, the interface is going to be Wireguard group, direction incoming, IPv4, protocol any, source. Okay, so the source is now the LAN network behind the firewall 2 router of the site B. These are the guys that you're letting in, okay, and where you're letting them in into your LAN network. Okay, so be careful not to press the LAN address, but rather the LAN network. So that's the entire subnet. You can ignore my other one that's called SOBA. Description, well, type whatever you like here. It is reasonable to type something that will remind you what this is all about, because when you will have like a gazillion of firewall rules here one day, you're not going to remember what you did. So type something reasonable here. Now go ahead to your site B configuration, go to Wireguard group and repeat everything. Wireguard group as an interface, direction in, IPv4 protocol any. The source will be the LAN subnet from the site A local area network behind the firewall 1 router of the site A. Destination, your LAN subnet on your site B, and the destination range any. And we are pretty much done. Save it and then apply it. If you feel like rebooting both of your firewalls just to see how everything boots up automatically and establishes the connection, be my guest. I always do things like that when I'm finished with a configuration, because it's not that you have to reboot OPNsense firewall in order to establish a connection. It's just that I like to see how everything works on its own after the system boots up. That's a me thing. I have always been doing this, not just with firewalls, routers, computers, servers, everything that I set up. I like to see how it boots up and just works. So I usually reboot my things my Internet of Things, right? Let's call it. It's not Internet of Things, but my things of the internet would be more accurate. Right. We are basically finished. You can go ahead and we are now on site A here. Okay. So what you can do is ping 192.168. Let's magnify this. 99 dot actually, yeah, 99.1. This is my site A firewall. Okay. So here you can see that the time to respond is roughly half a millisecond, which gives you a fairly confident idea that this is a local interface in my local subnet. Okay, so the firewall on the site B, that one has an address 10, 250, 234, and 1. So already you can see that this one has like 65363, like, okay, so let's say 5 milliseconds of response time. This is because it is on the other side of the internet. So it takes a little bit for the ICMP traffic to travel, to do a round trip. Okay, and behind this firewall, I already have a Debian server, which I'm going to use to, host some services. That one roughly responds in the same amount of time because it is located pretty much at the same place where the firewall is. Go ahead and ping something on the other side so that you can see that the traffic is working. So there you have it. You have now successfully configured your site-to-site tunnel with Wireguard. If you have a static IP addresses on both, I would recommend that you limit your connections, as I already told you during this video, just to the IP addresses that need to be hooked up together, so that you never even give a chance for anyone else to even attempt connecting to your site, or even attempting to offer a secret key that they don't have. But if you can't do that, if your IP address is dynamic, this is pretty secure either way because of the way how WireGuard functions. I hope you have learned something today, and I'm going to see you in the next episode of, playing with your firewall. Have a nice day, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.